Hello everyone and welcome to L tutorials. So in the previous videos or previous tutorials we have completed or covered the basic concepts of object oriented programming, what are the features of object oriented programming and what are powerful features of C++ language. Along with that we have learned about the classes and also some important features of functions, constructors and destructors. So we are just proceeding ahead and we are starting with inheritance. That is also a very important part of an object oriented programming. So I'll open here a new file, but before that, what is an inheritance? It is important to learn inheritance? Basically inheritance means we just inherit some of the features of our parents. For example, this is a short example for inheritance. He is Mr. A, that is the dad of this guy, and she is Miss B, that is mother of this guy. So this child C, this will get some features from his dad, that is from A, and some features from his mom, that is B. So this is basically a hybrid of his dad and his mom. So if his dad is having X and Y features and his mom is having X and X features, so basically this child is having a X and Y feature, because it is not possible that a child is completely identical to his dad or is completely identical to his mom. A child is always a hybrid or a mix inherited features of his parents. So this is what inheritance called, having some of the features carry forwarded. This is basically what is inheritance means. Types of inheritance now. How many types of inheritance are there in C++ program? Basically there are three inheritance types. First is simple inheritance or single level inheritance. In a single level inheritance, one class A and one class B. The feature of class B will be inherited to features of class A along with features of class A. So if B is having features A, B, C, D, and A is having a feature E of itself, then if B is inherited to A also, then this A will having the features A, B, C, D and E. This is known as simple inheritance or single level inheritance. The features of this class B will be inherited to this class A. Now let's come to another that is the second type of inheritance, that is multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance is basically this class C is the base class. Base class is the class which is initiated in a inheritance level. So this C is the base class and the information from this C class will be inherited to this B class, and the information from B class will be inherited to this A class. It means B is having the information of C class and A is having the information of B class and C class also, and also it is having this information regarding his own class A. So this is what a multi-level inheritance is. Multiple inheritance can also be there, like this class B and class C, both the features will be inherited in A class. And if we mix this multi-level, multiple and simple inheritance, it will form a hierarchical inheritance. So these are the types of inheritance. You can learn out, or you can just create codes for that so that you can understand it properly. So let's continue. Open our IDE, C++. So now we are ready. So let's include istring.h. We are just creating a simple inheritance in this particular video. conio.h and I would also take stdio.h. That's all. Okay, so it's void main because I don't want to return anything. So here clear screen and get ch, and we are ready. So now we have to just create a class. I'm creating a class student here, private. I'm just keeping all the data members as private in order to make it secure, or in order to keep it safe, like integer, role, and also character name, and I'm giving it a array size of 50. Okay, so that's all. Now I'm just declaring public members that are my member functions, void input and void output. I can also pass parameters through these functions, but I'm not willing to do it right now. So that's all for this class. Now we'll define all these we'll define all these member functions later on, but for current I have to inherit this whole class student, because I want to show you how a multi-level or multiple inheritance is working. So for regarding this thing, we have let me create one more class. Okay, class school. This school is having some of the information that is belonging to school, like if I give it private, okay, so integer school code, this is the short form for school code, and integer t marks, there is total marks of student, and anything else I should define here? No. So public, I'm giving here a member function that is void okay, in void in and void, oh my god, void out. So that's all. So here we have declared one more class that is with the name school. Here we are having two different classes, student and school. So if I want to inherit this student class to school, so I have to do nothing, class school, and this is the inheritance operator. This means we are inheriting one more class from this whole program. So I'm inheriting here student. Will it work? No. Actually, if we are doing this, we have to give the C++ or define a C++ through which mode, through which access specifier I would like to access this student. So if I don't want to keep secret, I will give it here public. Otherwise, if I want to be it private, then I will give private, otherwise protected. Okay, so let's define the void input, void output, and void in and void out function. So void input first. If I declaring void input, cout, enter roll number of student. So I'm taking it here cn roll. That's okay. And okay, let's give me a message here, enter name of student, and I'm taking it via getS, that is name, and that's all. So again we have to make a function that is void output for printing these values, cout roll number of student is, and I'm giving here roll, that's all. And cout name of student is, that's okay. Here let me give it by a put as name, okay, name, that's all. And I'm closing it down. Will it work like this? No, because we are just defining these functions outside the student class, so we have to repeat the same procedure. Void student and scope resolution operator input, that's all. Same here, void student, oh my god, student and scope resolution operator output, that's all. Oh my god, it is not done out here. Now it's fine. So now we have to just declare void school and scope resolution operator input. So here I'm giving it a message. We need here the school code and the total max. So enter the school code. Cin, taking here SCL CODE, that's okay. And again I'm asking for enter total marks of student. So here Cin T marks, that's all. I'm just closing it down, and also again void school scope resolution operator out, that's all. And same cout school, oh my god, code is here whatever we would like to print, SCL CODE, that's all. Cout total marks of student is, I'm just giving it here T marks, that's all with the functions. So we have completed with the inheritance portion and the declaration portion. So now main is the only remaining thing. So let's come to main and let's create two objects here. First is for student S and school S1, it's okay. So we have just declared here two of the objects, that is S object for student class and S1 object for school class. We already inherited the S to S1, but still we are just trying to fetch it out. So I'm just printing first of all the input function from student class. Okay, so student is the S is the object for student class, so S dot input, I called it here, and I'm just S dot output, I'm just printing out here. Okay, so one more thing, S1 dot in, I'm just calling the S1 option. Okay, just skip this thing first. Let's compile this code first, 0 errors, and let's run this code. And roll number of student 1 and L tutorials. So okay, I should provide here a ENDL statement, cout ENDL, that's fine. And here also I guess ENDL, now it's fine. Let me provide here also, so that our code will be looking perfectly fine. Same here, school code and ENDL, that's fine. So compiled, and let's run. Roll number 1 and name is Weber. So it's perfectly working fine. But what now, I'm just we just printed the name and the marks of roll number and name of student. But what if I need the school code and total marks of student? Then I will simply give here 1 and 1 and just delete it out simply. That's all. Now let's compile, let's run. Enter the school code, it's 1 2 3. Now fine. Enter the total marks of student, let's say 90. It's a good student, so total marks of student is this and school code is this. So here you can check out school.in had took the values for both the input and output values for both the school code and the total marks. But what about the inheritance, where we can see here in inheritance? So yes, you can check out here everyone, like I declared here two objects, the object S for student class and S1 for school class. But what if we are searching for what is the use of inheritance, why we if we inherited the class student to class school, then what is the use of this student? So I'm just deleting it, and we have just one object now, that is S for school. Now it's perfectly fine. So for S, member functions are in and out. So if I compile, it's 0 error, 100% correct. But what now, let's run this. Enter the school code, it's 1 and total marks of students say 90. But what if we want to take roll number, name and also school code and total marks? It means I want to access all the four things, all the four data members, like roll number and name and school code and total marks, just using this school class and its functions, because school class inherited the student class publicly. So it is easy that we can access all the functions here. So if I want to take all the classes, I will just use it the same object of school, because school has inherited all the features of the student class. So I'm just providing here s.input because it's a public member function, so I can inherit it using the same object, and also here s.output. Okay, just a minute, let me take the input together and let's print output together. That's perfectly fine. So if I compile this 100%, if I run this exactly, enter roll number of student 1, name of student Weber, and school code 20, and total marks of student, let's say 90. So these are the four values printed just using a single object. That means the object of class school, which has inherited the features of student class publicly. So this access specifier will specify how many codes, how many data members, how many member functions will be inherited to the next class, or anything is inherited or not. So let's say if I just make it a private function, will it work? Let's compile. 2 errors. Student input is not accessible because I just inherited the class. It is not accessible. I have to create one more object for that, a simple student object like B. Now if I do it with b dot input and b dot output, now it will compile perfectly. But I don't know why. I don't want to do this because I'm just learning inheritance. So if you cannot access any of the data members or member functions if you are inheriting the class using a private access specifier. Now what about the third access specifier which we didn't use till now, that is protected. Now let's compile this. It is showing here input is not accessible exactly because input is containing the private access specifier basically for 2. It is basically having the priority or the security which is always between private and public. That is, it is the intermediate of a private and public access specifier. So if we are protectedly inheriting any of the class, we can access its public functions but cannot access its private functions or the protected functions. So this is the reason I just skipped these protected functions that I told you in the previous video, that we'll learn about protected functions as soon as we will start learning inheritance. So that's why I skipped this. So this is basically a great inheritance chapter. So I'm just specifying it using a public, that's all. So it's already run, that is L tutorials, and school code is 1000, and marks of student, let's say 100. He's a intelligent student. So that's all. We learned inheritance perfectly. Let's save this file so that we can in with the name of inherit. Now it's fine. So we'll also continue in inheritance is basically all done. I just want to let you see nothing. We have just did in the previous example or previous video a simple inheritance. That is, this is the class school and this is the class student. Student is my base class and school was my inherited class. So using the same scenario, you can just create a class known as state, in which you can take the name of school and also the state in which the school is present. So this is a great practice, so keep practicing for inheritance also, because inheritance is one of the most important object oriented programming feature. And also please press the bell icon on my channel so that as soon as I upload any new video, you will get the notification regarding this. So that's all for this class, everyone. So enjoy the programming, and we are just very close to closing the object oriented programming, and we'll learn about some of the very useful and awesome features of C++, like the friend function, the virtual function, the file handling processes, because in current programs we are just running the code, but we are not storing anything like in a file, like a notepad file or anything else. So I'll teach you everything about those things. So till then, keep coding, enjoy guys, and please like, subscribe and comment on my video so that we can rock and practice more on this coding. Thank you.